Right now, 3:44, 16 in front of 4 o'clock. Let's meet Pete Stauber, the next congressman from Minnesota's 8th District. Monster announcement this morning, changing everybody's world. Pete, Commissioner Stauber, welcome to KNSI's Ox in the Afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you having me on this afternoon.
Wow. Well, it's good to have you on. My goodness. I want to get to know you. I think this is our first time having you on. Maybe you were on before. I forgot, but I don't think so. But first of all, what's it like being in the race for Congress and all of a sudden to find out it's going to be an open seat?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. We've been pushing our race for almost a year now. And you asked me what it's like. It's in one sense it's humbling, in the other sense it's just exhilarating. It's an opportunity to I'm looking forward to representing the district. That common sense conservative message that we have, Dan, is resonating throughout the entire district, and the grassroots support has been pretty good. So it's been awesome. It's wonderful, and really the synergy around the campaign by the grassroots activists and supporters has been really exciting for us. So,
well, if you look at some of the statistics from last year's election, the 2016 election, you had a huge sweep or a huge switch from Hillary voters to Trump voters. It became Republican country, and with the juggernaut of Rick Nolan, the name, identity, and whatever, barely inching out Stuart Mills in his second run to upset Rick Nolan. So now, with that groundwork laid, Pete, you guys got to be just steamrolling to victory on November 6th.
Well, I say that we're laser focused on the district and what the district needs and wants, and what the citizens are demanding. And I look at it this way: we're not taking anything for granted. Every day we're gaining momentum. President Trump won this district by just under 16%, and the voters, it's an R4 district now. And for the Republicans, this is the second highest pickup in the entire country. And so we're looking to have a victory in November. We really believe, and I believe that the values, my leadership, my decisions, not only on our local city council, the Hermantown City Council, which I spent 8 years on, but the St. Louis County Board of Commissioners. I spent a couple of years as the chair of Public Health and Human Services, a couple of years as the Public Works Director, Transportation Chair, and then right now I'm the Finance Director Chair for the St. Louis County, and we've got a AA+ bond rating. So things are going very well. I think that what I've done, Dan, in my life is resonating with the people, and by no means did I ever think 5 or 10 years ago that I'd ever be in this position, but it's kind of evolved this way. And when Rick was voting on some things that just weren't resonating or weren't congruent with the values of the 8th District, and that's why I entered this race. I'm one that will not stand by and let things happen without putting up a fight, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, Pete. So let's talk about some of the issues affecting the 8th District. First of all, we're hearing some news that it looks like the copper mine may actually open. Some final public hearings going on, and that's becoming a real possibility. Environmentalists may be upset about it. Where do you stand on that, and where do you think the bulk of the people in your area do?
So I'm 100% behind the project. The MPCA and the Minnesota DNR have put out their draft permit to mine these precious metals by PolyMet and at the NorthMet project. And so the science is there. This has been a process for 14 years. 14 years ago, they started this. They've been through the environmental assessments, everything that's been asked of them. And last night was what we think is the last public meeting on the PolyMet project. I was up in Aurora and spoke on behalf of it on Wednesday. And this last night, I spoke at a press conference in favor of it down in the city of Duluth. And I'm 100% supportive of it. Dan, if you know anything about the precious metals mine, it's called the Duluth Complex. And right now, we believe it's the biggest precious metals find in the world.
Jeez.
We know we can mine this safely and keep the pristine environment in northeastern Minnesota. We've mined for 134 years here, and we've done a really, really good job keeping our environment safe. So I'm behind the project. The men and women, the University of Minnesota Duluth did a study, Dan, that said approximately $500 million a year to the local economy for a minimum of 20 years. And so that's huge. That's huge for any area of our country. Mm-hmm. And we're just fortunate that we can extract these minerals in a safe way, keeping our water and air clean and bringing great paying jobs to northeastern Minnesota.
I think that's been the biggest public issue that we're familiar with in the rest of the state anyway about your district. Anything else that's hot up there? I know that's kind of a one-track mind for a lot of folks, but clearly there are other issues.
Absolutely, there are other issues. Look at the health care. We're looking for affordable and accessible health care for all. And at one point, Congressman Nolan said that he wants to institute, European-style single-payer health care. And I totally disagree with that. We know just the best estimates are it will cost $32 trillion to implement that. And I couldn't disagree with that more. We haven't amassed $32 trillion in this country's existence of debt, and that's what it will do. And I've always said this. Dr. Scott Jensen, senator down in southern Minnesota, said this, and I like to use it. He said, and it's true, we need health care that is patient-driven and physician-guided. I don't want any unelected bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. telling me I can't have this or I can't have that. I tell people a story of my father. He was 83 years old.
We're losing you, Pete. I'm sorry. Can you have the government turn off their jamming devices?
Can you?
No, we're losing.
Can you hear me now?
You're in and out. I know they finally found us, Pete. The government has found us, and they're jamming the signal. I just know it.
Oh, can you hear me now?
A little bit better, yeah.
Okay, let me see what I can do here.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you good. Thanks, Pete. Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about healthcare. I can share this with you that my 83-year-old father went into the hospital with chest pains. On Tuesday, he had quadruple bypass surgery, and at 85, he had full knee replacement surgery 3 weeks ago. In a European-style single-payer healthcare system, my father would never have had that quadruple bypass at his age,
right?
Nor would he have had that knee replacement, because they would evaluate it and said his life is not worth it. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't disagree with that more. No unelected government bureaucrat should get in the middle between a physician and the patient on their personal health care, period. And that's what Rick was pushing. And frankly, that's what some of the Democrats are pushing.
Of course they are. Yeah, a ton of them are, right?
Yeah.
Can I ask you?
I disagree with that.
Yeah, Pete Stauber, candidate for Congress in Minnesota's 8th Congressional District. The vote last night, I doubt you've had a chance to look it all over, but raises the debt ceiling, spends a whole bunch more money, ends sequestration, gives a bunch of money to non-defense programs. What say you? Would you have been a yes vote or a no vote on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm still deciphering it all. I'm looking through it as the day progresses here. But one of the things that for me, I'm a military family. My wife is an Iraq war veteran, and I look at it as it's going to fund our military. And when we ask our men and women, the best, bravest that we have to defend us, we ought to give them the best training, best equipment, best technology to implement and finish the mission and their tactics and whatever they're going to use. And so I support that. I support the military knowing that they have the money and the resources to do what we've asked them to do. But I don't think, Dan, like the $300 million or $300 billion that it added to the deficit, that concerns me. But I'm going through it getting some paperwork on it, learning about it, because I don't want to be able to comment on everything because I haven't read it all.
Water under the bridge at this point. If and when you're elected, you're not going to be voting on this one anyway. So
yeah, that's right. That's right.
But Pete, I appreciate your time today. I want to congratulate you for getting into the race, knowing that it would be an uphill battle with Rick Nolan, and now finding that this amazing development this morning, just a few hours ago, with Rick Nolan saying he's not running for re-election. For fundraising, for support, how can folks reach you and support you?
Oh, they can just go to PeteStauberForCongress.com, and there's a donate button right there, and we will accept all donations. You know, the financial part of any campaign, that's the lifeblood. And right candidate, right time with the right message, and we're just looking we have a ton of donors. Our fundraising is going real well, and I think that's just because of the message and the candidate that I am and what I stand for. So,
well, Pete, we'll look forward to chatting again. Congratulations. Thanks for being on.
I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Pete Stauber for Congress on KNSI's Ox in the Afternoon.